Well, can Australia's commodity boom really carry the nation's finances back into the black and keep them there? Treasury and the Treasurer seem to think so, predicting we'll be back in surplus by 2012 and staying there. But are they being too optimistic? One independent forecaster thinks so. Access Economics says that the commodities boom has seen a rush to bring projects online, and that'll eventually lead to oversupply and a price fall. Here's Emily Stewart.
The federal budget is a fragile beast, reliant on being fed by the Chinese dragon. Economists say the strength of the resources sector means the budget will remain healthy in the short term, but concerns have been raised that the boom can't last forever.
Compared to almost any other rich nation in the world, our budget is a picture of robust health. My worry would be that even though the next couple of years should see better than budgeted figures, $3.5 billion this year, $2.5 billion next year, the further you look out, though, the more fragile a budget becomes.
Both the federal government and Access Economics are predicting a surplus of more than $3 billion in the 2012-2013 financial year. The government says higher export prices will lead to a $4.5 billion surplus in the 2013-2014 period. But the independent forecaster expects worldwide supply of iron ore will increase 50% in the next 4 years, resulting in a price drop and a consequent budget deficit of almost $2 billion.
The budget now depends on coal and iron ore prices, and they are very fickle. And miners around the world are digging deeper. Chances are prices will head down, and that will hurt the budget.
We need to be particularly cautious about the commodity price outlook, not necessarily be pessimistic, but build into the fiscal outlook that there could be a deterioration, and we need to have a strong fiscal position in order to deal with any external economic shock, such as lower commodity prices into the future.
The Federal Treasurer says its commodity forecasts are conservative. But Lateline Business was unable to obtain a breakdown of expected individual commodity price movements.
The Federal Treasury doesn't assume that our record terms of trade stay at that level forever. It forecasts that they do come down over time, just like Access Economics. But Access Economics tend to be professional pessimists about future for growth in the region, and in particular for China.
Stimulus packages did help to keep the economy going through the global financial crisis, but economists now warn the government needs to tighten the purse strings.
So much of the restoration of the budget to balance and to surplus has been built on the automatic stabilisers of increasing revenue resulting from increasing economic expansion. So the side of the coin that hasn't been looked at is how we deal with expenditure reform as well.
A continuing surplus is actually going to take governments and for that matter oppositions, things are very tight at the moment, agreeing on some difficult decisions, on having some fiscal discipline, and not having policy doing its two bobs worth, pulled one way by Bob Katter and the other way by Bob Brown. We're going to have to be more careful on spending because we can't rely on China to give us prosperity on a platter forever.
And if this doesn't happen, there'll be nothing left to celebrate.